Hi there and welcome to Thursdays with Annette. I'm sorry, but we need a drum roll please, because we are today, or I am, making the #1 recipe that you voted in the top 50 Simply Too Good recipes. And what was it? Well, it's in this book, Cooking Formula 2. It's also in book 4. What could it be? Well, you chose it. It's Rippa Rissoles. That's right, the good old humble Rippa Rissoles won the #1 spot in 2022. So there you go. So I'm not going to make this one out of here because this makes enough for 6 people, which is 12 patties. So it'll just take too much time because, you know, you've got things to do, places to go, people to meet, I'm sure. So I'm going to make this one, and it's 4 patties, so it's enough for 2 people, so you get 2 patties each. So that's the one I'm going to be making today. So let's have a look at the ingredients we need for this recipe. And remember, because I'm only making enough for 2 people, everything's quite small, the amount you need. So it's quicker, it's economical, and you don't have 1,000 things left over at the end of it all. So what we need is we need 1 egg white. We need some carrot and zucchini, onion. I've got the beef Massel stock powder, 200 grams of lean, very lean beef mince. And I always think when it comes to mince, always buy the leanest one you can that's available. I've also pre-done some brown rice. Now this brown rice, where you can either do it that is 40 grams raw, just do it that way and boil it up, or it's 2/3 of a cup of cooked brown rice. And I want you to drain it really well. I actually sit it in the sun if I can, you know, near the kitchen window to help dry it out a bit. So really rinse it well, and you need that to start with, okay? I've also got some oyster sauce. I've got my, you know, rice bran cooking spray to use in my near-flamme pan. I've got a little bit of pepper, but the other little ingredients here that gives it extra flavour, I think this is why everyone loves it, it's also got the spring vegetable cuppa soup in it, and we will use some of that as well. And so you'll just use a little bit of it. So I'll just put that packet there. So this is the ingredients you need for the recipe, and it's so easy to make. So all we have to do is, I'm going to start with the onion, and I just need 2 tablespoons of finely diced onion, all right? So when it's finely diced, I tend to go in quite close, so that way I get lots of really fine pieces. See, and I'm just coming along here, cutting it in quite close, and then get as close as you can, because you don't want big chunks of onion in the mix. There's nothing worse. Now I only want 2 tablespoons. Thanks for joining me today. We don't need the oven, so that's good. It's all going to be done in the pan. All right, so we want 2 tablespoons. Now I'm going to put everything into the bowl, just as I go, because we're going to mix it up. So 2 tablespoons. Now, I'm then going to grate some veggies in it. And this is what's great if you've got kids that don't really like veggies. This is going to really help you a lot, because they might not even notice them. All right, so I'm going to grate the zucchini. Why am I talking quietly? I don't know. We don't want the kids to hear that there's zucchini going in it. Now, we want 1/4 cup of grated zucchini. Now, one moment, please. Watch and learn, okay? Because there's a little trick that I'm going to show you that can really help you with this recipe. All right, so you want 1/4 cup. Now, when you look at zucchini, you'll see that it's quite wet. You know, it gets really wet. So the trick here is we don't want the mix to be super wet. So what I do is I use the old paper towel, kitchen paper towel, put it on. Let me move that knife. Spread it over the paper, and then press down And you'll be surprised at the amount of water that comes off the zucchini. And this will help hold your burgers a bit better. It looks good. All right, so now what you're going to do is I'm going to just scrape it. Where's my knife gone? I don't know where I am. Okay, just scrape that, the zucchini, into the bowl. And this way you're just going to, look, the moisture that you've got out of that is a lot. Okay, don't need that anymore. The zucchini's in there. Now we're going to do the carrot, and I'm going to do, once again, it's only 1/4 cup. And I tend to make this batch up, and then I put it in the freezer just for a little bit. I'm not freezer, the fridge, just for a little bit to let it hold a bit. So if you can do that for an hour or so, that will help. So I made one up ahead so I can go straight into cooking. All right, 1/4 cup of carrot. That looks good. Thank you. Now I don't need this anymore. So I'm just going to put it over my sink out of the way. There we go. So that's the hard work done. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to just kind of mix it all together. That's how hard it is. You just got to do the onion, the zucchini and the carrot. Now I'm going to put gloves on because it gets a bit mucky. And as I said, this is also in book 4, and you can make 12 patties instead of 4. All right, so let's put in 1/2 teaspoon of the beef stock powder. You basically just throw everything in. Let's do our egg white. Mince, 200 grams of really lean beef mince. Done that. Now I'm just going to put in 2 teaspoons of the soup mix. So as I said, in the bigger recipe in book 4, you'll make this a lot bigger, obviously. But how great that, like for me and Billy, we just get 2 burgers each. Very good portion control, but they do freeze really well, okay? So that's another option for you. And now 2 teaspoons of oyster sauce, and I think this is what really helps get a really good flavour with the burgers. There we are. I'm going to put just a little bit of pepper in because I like a bit of cracked pepper in it. So now I'm going to mix it and then put the rice in, okay? So get in there, mix it all up. And what's great is for today that I'm going to tell you it shortly how you can win both of these cookbooks. That's right. Not only can you win this week book 4, but you can also win cooking for 1 or 2. Feeling very generous for 2023, aren't I? All right, so this is your rice. Now it's either 2/3 cooked. So if you're making, and it's brown rice, if you're making rice, brown rice up for something or other, you could always freeze, 2/3 cup and put it in the freezer, and then you can make your Rippa Rissoles at your leisure. It's a good idea. Mixing that up really well. Perfect. Now what I like to do is I like to have even patties because I don't want Bill getting the big ones and me getting the little ones. So I always measure it or weigh it. All right, so I'm just going to weigh it. That is 436 for the whole mix. So divided from that, what does that make it, Billy? 109. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my scales back to 0 and make 4. 109. Now I've got a plate, so I'll put them on it. So as I do it, I'm just going to make it into a nice patty shape. There we go. 109. Let's do this. All right, so now you're going to make 4 of these, and you can do variations with them. I'll tell you about that shortly. Let's have a look here. 109. There we go. So easy to make. All you had to do really, the hardest part was probably chopping the onion, because you could get the kids maybe to grate, unless because you don't want them to know about the veggies. Keep that between us. But it's great because you've got great with salad. You can have veggies with it, you know, gravy. You can do either, which I love. I love a good rissole. And it's funny, my friend Dirk, I've weighed that one, haven't I? No, I didn't, but it doesn't matter. Yep, it's fine. There's the 4. My friend Dirk was one of our taste testers, him and Vicky, his wife. They were very happy to taste test, I might tell you, with the books. And when he ate this, he said, "Oh, these are Rippa Rissoles, Annette." And I went, "Oh my God, we have to call them Rippa Rissoles." So Dirk has this, he's very famous. I don't know whether he expects royalties, but let's not go there. All right, so now my 4 patties are going to go in the fridge and just rest for an hour or 2. You can cook them straight away if you really want, but it is better. So here we are, Billy, I'll swap you. So these went in probably not even an hour ago because I was running a little bit late. And so let's turn on our heat. Got my cooking spray. And what I'm going to do as well is I'm going to spray the tops of the burgers just so they get a little bit more coating. And I want to have this pan, I don't want it too hot because otherwise it just burns because of the rice in the patty, and you want to make it cook through. So what we're going to do is we're going to cook them in the pan just for a couple of minutes, flip them, and cook them on the other side, and Rippa Rissoles done. All right, so let's go. Here we are. I often do that whole spray over the top before I put in for fish and other things as well. We've got our sizzle going. All right. Okay, so now they're going to take a little bit of time. So what I might do is come back when I'm ready to flip, okay? So I'll just see you in a couple of minutes. All right, so we're about to flip, okay? So it's all happening. So I'll just get a fork here to support it. And I'm going to flip that over. See how the fork just helps me when I'm turning it? There we go. All right, I might turn that down. I had it on, oh, look, it doesn't matter, but I had it on medium hot, but now I'm going to put it down to medium. So there they are, cooking away, absolutely beautiful, very proud. Number 1, you voted it, Rippa Rissoles. So you know what, if you would like to win book 4, which is an amazing book, or Cooking for 1 or 2, you can win both of them this week. All you have to do is like, share, and in the comments, you should know by now, hashtag Symply Too Good. In the comments, and you could be a lucky winner getting both books personally signed by moi. That's right. I mean, when you think about the cooking on this show each week, the theme for this year is quick, easy, simple. And I just think this is pretty fabulous. Now, I do have variations for it. So this is with the beef mince. You could do it with the very lean. Or remember I said, always buy the leanest. It's probably the most expensive mince is the one that will tell you it's the leanest. So chicken, if you use chicken, which is really yummy with this recipe, it's 6.7 grams of fat. The beef, as I've done today, is 5.7 grams of fat. For 2 burgers, thank you, yes. I'm happy because I know I'm getting my quota. Bill's got there exactly the same. And pork is really nice as well, 5.7. So if you see any of the minces go on special, this is the way to go, isn't it? And as I said, you can freeze them. So if you love rissoles, or if you want to be American, we'll call them burgers, I have got a burger section in book 7, and it's phenomenal. And it's not just a plain old beef burger. I'm telling you, I went all out in that burger section. I even tell you how to make a low-fat aioli, how to do fried onion, all healthy and fabulous. That's right. Now, next week's show is going to be, I'm going back in time, book 2, and it's also in Cooking 102. So another week where you get 2 books to win. It's one of my most favourite things on the planet, and it's called pineapple fruitcake, tropical fruitcake. It is incredible. It is just one of the things. Pineapple fruitcake, if you've never made it and you think, I'm not really a fruitcake person, stop. You have not tried my pineapple fruitcake. Do you know the other thing I love about it? Is there's no sugar in it. The sweetness is from the dried fruit and the crushed canned pineapple that you put in it. So you need to be here next week to watch it. If you've never made a fruitcake, this is the one. This is the best. I love it. And I'll tell you how you can make it for Christmas as well. Oh my God, did I say Christmas? It's just too soon. I'm sorry, people. Look, I think we're nearly done here. So let's get the burgers out. Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, but who knew? Weight loss could be so good, so burger delicious. Thank you very much. Look at that. Now, the other thing I can't stress enough on for this particular recipe is the pan. You need a really good non-stick pan, because what happens is the rice will stick to your base and you won't get that. You'll get mushy burgers, you know, like, because they break up. The key is a good quality non-stick pan. There we go. Because you can see how easy that was. All right, so now the other thing before we go, don't forget, I'm doing a Saturday with Annette. That's right, I've got Thursday with Annette. Now I'm doing a Saturday with Annette. It's a live show, and it'll be on the 20th of May at Maroochydore. You need to come, you need to be there. I'll be cooking and talking about everything to do with living your life, the best life you can. And I wonder what I'll cook on the day. I mean, it's going to be fantastic. If you want to find out more about the event, because it's a one-off, I don't know if I'll be doing it again. So go to simplytoogood.com.au for any recipes or tips. But for the event, you go simplytoogood.com.au/events. Alrighty? Okay, well, don't forget, number 1, now you know why. Take care, and I'll see you next Thursday.